So I've been researching a lot of orchids on the internet, and there are a lot of great sources out there. AOS is amazing. Even sometimes your local orchid society will be a great source, or like RHS or something. But I've noticed that there is just a dearth of like free public information on certain genus that, like on YouTube specifically. And so I was just tonight researching Maxillaria, which I know a lot of people grow, but there isn't a ton of just like information out there on YouTube. So I guess it's up to me to make that. So I'm gonna give you guys a quick tour of my Maxillarias, or I should say the Maxillaria in my collection. There's some really nice ones. They're quite easy to grow, and if you're not growing Maxillaria yet, and you like a plant that can do like medium, a little bit higher light, but also likes wet conditions, so good, decent humidity and damp media. That's what they like. If you can do that, Maxillaria is super easy. They grow massive flowers, and they're typically fragrant. Some of them smell like coconut. Everyone's familiar, with the coconut orchid, the Maxillaria tenufolia, which I believe is actually in spike right now. It's this guy. He's a bit grassy looking, and you can see there's a couple spikes coming up like right there, and we're looking at maybe 7 spikes on that. Or the vanilla smelling orchid, which this is the Maxillaria rufescens. You can see it right here. One of the quickest growing plants in my collection. And all throughout the summer, it just free blooms these yellow flowers that smell like vanilla, and you can smell them from literally like 20 meters away. It's unreal. That plant, I got it as a 4-bulb cutting, and it's now an 11-bulb plant with the new ones coming up, and that's only been in the space of like 10 months, and it just flowers so easily. Anyways, I'll get to those later. I was looking today to repot my Maxillaria sanderiana, which is a really nice plant, makes a really big, like 3.5, almost 4-inch bloom. This guy, he's actually a recent import, which is what I thought explained the quality of the leaves right now. They're having a really hard time keeping themselves up. So I realized I might not be giving the air or the roots enough air, so I repotted it. And when I went to repot, I realized that it's not just because this plant is a recent import, it's because this plant is trying to grow 3 new growths, put out roots on each of them, and there's a flower spike starting down in there, which, if you didn't know, some Maxillaria are bottom bloomers. So this Maxillaria sanderiana, for example, it will bloom out the bottom of this pot, hence why it's in a almost vanda looking basket rather than something that's like thicker that holds a lot of moisture, or a terracotta. So they've got to have that room to bloom, otherwise your blooms are just going to get stuck in a pot. You'll never see them. They're super like substancy. Like, there's just a lot to some of the blooms on these Maxillarias, which is why I love them so much. They smell nice, and they're super thick typically. But Maxillaria is a massive genus. It's got about 650 plants in it. So you get everything from like these quite large, actually this is one right there. One of the largest plants in my whole collection, even considering my aeroids. I've got a Warwickrianum and a 20-inch Philodendron pastazanum. Obviously, you guys probably recognize Jose Buono. But even considering them, this is Maxillaria lutea grandiflora, and it's still one of the largest plants, topping out at about 3 feet tall. And they go from, these, I would say this is a large size plant, all the way down to miniatures, which is this wee little Maxillaria sophronitis. And this thing will form like a creeping mat as long as you keep it damp and kind of like medium light. They can get huge over time. It's really amazing. And then, there's other free bloomers like this one is Maxillaria schunkiana. And unfortunately for you guys, this is the first time in, I don't know, probably 4 months that there hasn't been a flower on this guy. And I know it just looks super average right now, but it flowers nearly black flowers. And that's, as we know in the orchid world, quite atypical. Typically, they're really bright colors to attract different sorts of pollinators. Like, bright yellow here, like a burgundy red, or who else? The sophronitis, that is a super bright red flower. But yeah, he's just always doing black flowers, but he grows super well. And then you even have some of them that tolerate really low light. So this guy right here is Maxillaria pseudo-reichenheimiana, and it's supposed to be easy to grow. It doesn't really like my conditions all that much. I've bud blasted it twice now. But the leaves are beautiful, and they come in all sorts of different colors. Sometimes you get red backs to the leaves, and they flush with like these massive sprays of flowers. And now we have got a cat. You guys are probably going to see a lot of him if I start recording a lot of orchid videos. This is Mango. He is super disrespectful of all the plants. He's really just trying to get at my single fish living in that tank. So, unfortunately, we have to protect him. So, bye, Mango. We'll see you later, buddy. Have a great time. Anyways, Maxillaria, super easy to grow. I'll make more videos as they grow and bloom this season. We're expecting a lot of stuff happening with these guys. So, cheers, folks.